My name is Frans Baleni. I'm a member of UJ Council, and I'm a SASSA beneficiary. The most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. I quote Mother Teresa. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we celebrating tonight? We're celebrating development, achievement, inclusive growth, helping hand, hope, eradication of poverty, and love. This is the reason we're here tonight. Let me welcome the chairperson, Deputy Chairperson of Council, Dr. Yondela, Council members present, UJ Leadership Group, led by the Vice Chancellor, Rem Pedi, Lemme Besim Pedi. And by the way, we have a chief leading the university, Chief Nana from Ghana. Other ELG members present, award recipients of Ellen Kuzwayo, Mayor Yvonne Chaka Chaka, and guests, Mama Letambuli and guests, Dignitas Award recipients, Mayor Lebogang Letsoalo and guests, O's Steps Pumo and guests, former members of council, former members of MEC, members of the congregation, all protocol observed. Before I invite the Deputy Chairperson of Council, bathrooms on my right, and then there are other bathrooms in this door or doors. There are no emergency drilling today. So in case of an alarm, it's a serious matter. Please go at the exit as I've pointed to the assembly point. I hope everybody has placed their orders. Mama Leta, you have just arrived, we're welcoming you. Please let them take your orders. I now invite Dr. Yondela Ndema, the Deputy Chair of Council, to address us.
Okay, my name is Yondela Ndema, as introduced by my colleague Frans Baleni. Members of Council, Mr. Frans Baleni as the Master of Ceremonies, and Mrs. Pindile Baleni, Vice Chancellor and Principal and Chief, Professor Letloga Bedi and Mrs. Besim Bedi, members of the Executive Leadership Group of the University of Johannesburg, recipients of the various awards, distinguished guests, good evening. As I address you this evening, I am very aware that the state of our beautiful country is not as it should be. One only has to listen to the news bulletin on the radio or tune into a news broadcast on television to understand the magnitude of problems that ordinary citizens face on a day-to-day basis. Unemployment levels are at an all-time high, with seemingly little or no plans to improve the lives of our citizens. Nevertheless, politicians continue to make promises as we approach the national electives in 2024. I hope you've registered to vote. And in many of our metropolitans, leadership frequently changes, disallowing any continuity to address issues that affect our day-to-day lives. This turmoil is not confined to South Africa alone. There are several armed conflicts playing out on the international stage, while the politics in several countries seem to oscillate between barely moderate to ultra-conservative. Closer to home, 2022 and 2023 have not been easy years for institutions of higher learning. Many institutions are still struggling to return to normal following the COVID-19 pandemic. Several of our universities are also consistently in the news for all the wrong reasons, with damning reports being released on what feels like on a monthly basis. As the Vice Chair of the University Council of the University of Johannesburg, I am very proud standing here this evening before you to report that all is well at the University of Johannesburg. 2023 saw some changes to the leadership of our institution, and it is a natural reaction to be anxious during times of leadership change. Over the last year and a bit, we saw a new chair of the council, Ms. Xoli Kakana, who's not here with us this evening, a new vice chancellor, Prof and Chief Mbedi, new deputy vice chancellors, and a new registrar. Several faculties also saw changes in their executive leadership. The UJ Council and executive leadership navigated these seas of change in the best possible way. And we today have an experienced and stable and united leadership at the helm of this great university. This message that all is well at UJ is of critical importance. It serves as a beacon of light and hope in a sea of storms. The only way in which to improve the lives of our people is through education. As Prof Mbedi always reminds us in his monthly newsletters, being exclusive is not something to be proud of. UJ prides itself on being an accessible and inclusive university where inclusivity and excellence are not mutually exclusive. To this end, UJ is the only South African university that reflects the demographics of the South African population. UJ also stands proudly within the communities that it serves and ensures that the sons and daughters of these communities are afforded an opportunity to a better life through education. The University of Johannesburg has done exceptionally well during the last year. The university was confirmed as the top contributor to knowledge production in South Africa, as shown by the DHET, that's an acronym for Department of Higher Education, report on the submission of research publications. It has consistently climbed various rankings, one of the few South African universities to consistently show upward trends, including being the top ranked university in South Africa and amongst the top 50 universities globally for its contribution to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The Times Higher Education Impact Ratings is an especially important global rankings metric, as it speaks directly to the vision of the Vice Chancellor to embed societal impact in all that we do. As our council meeting, which was held last night, the new strategic plan for 2035 was approved by council. This new plan developed under the leadership of Prof and Chief Mbedi, first as Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, and then Vice Chancellor, for ground societal impact in all that we do. The 2035 plan, which builds on the solid foundation laid by the previous strategic plan, will move the university forward and propel it to further along its upward trajectory. There will be a transition period between the 2025 and 2035 plans, allowing the continuation of the core business of the university, namely to educate the people of South Africa. Recognizing excellence serves several purposes. Perhaps most importantly, it represents beacons of hope to our collective future. Excellence is not something that one achieves without incredibly hard work and dedication. It is not something that one attains because of luck. Gary Player, the South African golf legend, often remarked that the more I practice, the luckier I get, emphasizing the importance of commitment, hard work, long hours, and even sacrifice. It is therefore wonderful to be here this evening to recognize some outstanding people, both for the Ellen Kuzwayo and Alumni Dignitas Awards. The first award this evening is named after Ellen Kate Kuzwayo, who made significant impact contributions to fight against apartheid and the advancement of women's rights in South Africa. Ms. Kuzwayo was an educator and a women's rights activist, serving as the president of the African National Congress Youth League and as a member of the first post-apartheid South African Parliament. As a writer, she is perhaps best known for her autobiography titled Call Me Woman, published in 1985. In her book, she reflects on her life and experiences as a Black South African woman, providing insights into the challenges faced by women during the apartheid era. She was also the first Black writer to win South Africa's leading literary prize, the CNA Award. The Ellen Kuzwayo Council Award recognizes outstanding contributions beyond the confines of teaching and research by individuals or organizations over an extended period to the promotion of the well-being of the institution or the well-being of the society in respect of matters in which a UJ as an institution has a particular interest. Our award winners this evening certainly meet these criteria. Our second category of awards is the Alumni Dignitas Award, which celebrates our alumni's achievements and celebrates those who have excelled in their respective fields. The word dignitas encompasses the idea of inherent value, respect, and honor. The concept of dignity is often associated with the inherent worth of individuals, irrespective of their social, economic, or other characteristics. Alumni Dignitas, therefore, refers to the respect and value that the University of Johannesburg accords to them. This award category also speaks to the value that the university gains from its alumni. In this world where our primary purpose as a university is to educate our people, strong links with our alumni are critical. Alumni can contribute to universities in various ways, providing support that goes beyond their time as students. Their contribution can include paying it forward through financial contributions, mentorship and networks, recruitment and job placement for graduates, and various other in-kind contributions. Again, our award winner this evening meets these criteria of excellence. Thank you.
I did indicate earlier on what I was celebrating, and I did mention some few points. My grandmother had a way of encouraging us and say, my grandchildren, you must celebrate me while I'm alive. And then he would say, when I send you to buy me a sniff, you must run. So then I show you, you love me. So today we are celebrating people who are still with us. This celebration and award is informed by Ellen Kuzwayo Awards. Our chairperson has indicated, deputy chairperson has indicated how we recognize individuals based on these awards. UJ is a very democratic university. The committee considers submissions for such awards and makes recommendation to council. Not only that, in order to confirm the inherent value of the award, a conservative approach is followed in making the awards. So those who sail through and got an award is not pass one, pass all. They've gone through the eye of the needle. The first Ellen Kuzwayo Awards were awarded in 2007. Up to now, we awarded 47 recipients. In your program, there's a list, and all of them are outstanding. Except my better half is a grumbling with one, but the rest are outstanding. Let me now introduce Usis Yvonne Chaka Chaka. It is my distinct privilege to introduce a luminary who truly embodies the spirit of artistry, activism, and compassion. Welcoming the one and only Yvonne Chaka Chaka, known affectionately as Princess of Africa. Sis Yvonne is not merely a legendary singer, a songwriter. She's a force of possible change, a remarkable humanitarian, an astute entrepreneur. Her musical success, which has resonated globally, is complemented by a profound and dedicated to humanitarian causes that has left an indelible mark on communities worldwide. Serving as UNICEF's Goodwill Ambassador against malaria and Ambassador for Rollback Malaria, one of those project's champions. She's also a champion of Global Fund focusing on combating HIV/AIDS tuberculosis. Through the Princess of Africa Foundation, she prioritized health, education, empowerment initiatives. Through her music and activism, she has ensured a measurable positive impact on society, making her a compelling nominee for the Ellen Kuzwayo Award. Please join me in welcoming the inspirational Princess of Africa, Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Professor Mpedi, the Deputy Chairperson.
Orange is the color of the day. Thank you very much. I want to make sure that I do justice to protocol. VC, Deputy Chair, our capable MC, member of the council, student representatives, every important person sitting here today, fellow awardees, Lebu, Tabi, and Sisleta. This is just so amazing. Standing here, I'm really shaking. I'd like to thank my son who's here with me and my husband who was late but managed to come. Otherwise, he was not good. Well, I didn't cook dinner, that's why he came. So he can come and eat here. I just want to say to each and every one of you, this could have been given to anybody else, but you saw it fit to give it to me. I am humbled, and I just want to say thank you to those who paved the way for us, for me to be standing here as a proud black woman because I've been given back my dignity. I want to say thank you to those who've always encouraged me. I just need to say, I was born in Dobsonville in 1965, and people always say, why do you always like telling your age? Because life is not a giving. It's because God wants you to be here and to make your mark. We are born with nothing, and we're given this space to do something, and then we die. Some of us will get forgotten, some of us will always be remembered. As a young girl growing up in the townships of Dobsonville, all I knew was that mom is working as a domestic worker, and at the age of 11, when my father died, the white government took the house from us, and I ended up in the madam's backyard with my two sisters. And I could not understand why couldn't I go to school with Louise and Vivian and David. And I would question my madam, and my mother would always say, I didn't even realize at the time that my ears were small. My mother was saying, because ukhuluma no madam. But I didn't care whether she was a madam, but I wanted to know, why am I supposed to be up at 5 o'clock to commute from Roodepoort back to Soweto when St. Catherine's School was just around the corner? But the madam tried to make me understand, to say, no, Yvonne, the system does not allow. You are 12, you are 11, you don't understand what is the system. But I look back today, and I say thank you to my mother, who had been a domestic worker, and all she ever wanted for her 3 girls was for them to have education. When I started singing, it was not something that I anticipated. It wasn't something that I looked for as well. My mother wanted me to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a chartered accountant because I loved money. My father would buy oranges for my 2 sisters and I, and the 2 stupid idiots would eat their oranges. I'll go to the corner and sell my ones. And we will have money for the whole week to eat. But I just want to say, today we're all sitting here, different colors. Thank you to all South Africans. South Africa is a beautiful country. There's still so many things that we still need to talk about. We haven't healed as yet, but I'm grateful today that a great university like UJ, like, you can see I'm old, like UJ, hey? Okay, I wanted to say Ra. Okay, you can see, like UJ is bringing us together. Thank you to Prof and all the council members and other people. We are seeing great transformation, and it is visible, and it needs to be commended. I also want to single out 2 people. My prof, I can see there. I'll come and register for my MBA, don't worry. I'm on my way. And Professor Nolita, who always encourages me. Well, I have to say, I was studying at another university. But when I'm stuck with my assignments, I would call her. And she did help. and she didn't say, but you're not studying at Rao. But she always helped. And these are the women that I look up to. Thank you, Prof. I will be graduating on the 7th of December. And thanks. And for me, education has always been something very important. And to the other recipients who are doing so well, Sisleta, you've been one of those people that I looked up to. My first record that my father bought for me was Roots. Kuleba Jawa. I never even thought for a minute I would sit here and touch you and feel you. A person who's worked with Michael Jackson, with Quincy Jones, you are indeed an epitome of excellence. You've paved the way for us. And I have so much respect for you. To Madame Letsoalo, whom I've not met, I just want to say you are amazing. Tabi, the work that you do with women, as an artificial intelligence student, I just want to say thank you for bringing us closer to those women that we work with. I need to say music is in the air, music is love, and I see that our DG is here. The woman who rules the president's office is right here, and she is my boss, by the way, somewhere else, and it is so nice to stand here and say, we are all men. But some of us who are endowed with these and those are called well-organized men, women. As I conclude, I want to say I was very lucky to have met Mom Ellen Kuzwayo, an amazing woman. Those are the women who fought for us to have our dignity back as South Africans. Women who tackled the bull by the horn when it was not fashionable. Women who made sure that during apartheid, when things were not very good, they persuaded and had education. And that's why when I talk to young people, I say fame comes and goes. But when you have your education, no one would ever take it from you. At 58, I'm still studying. With 3 honorary degrees, I'm inspired to study. I get very upset when people call the Minga household and they want to speak to Dr. Minga. I always ask them, which one? And sometimes, because I leave my phone there and my husband leaves a phone there, and when they call, my husband would say, which doctor is it? And he thinks he's the only doctor. I'm a doctor too, man. But I just want to say to my family, thank you for your support. Thank you, my husband, for leaving me to do anything that I want. Whether I'm studying, whether I have to do research, whether I have to do anything, you've never complained. I think this 34 years, we can do it again. And to each and every one of you, thank you for the inspiration. Thank you to those who agreed and saw it befitting that me and my other recipients are worthy for these awards. I know UJ is one of the best universities. I know when I was doing my research about AI, it did come up tops as well. And I just want to say thank you, continue with this. And maybe when I turn 60, I would come and be a professor at UJ. Who knows? But it is important to say education is absolutely something that we have to make sure that our children do get. And I suppose, and my wish is to make sure that our children, Babaleni, don't get 30%. How are they going to compete with the best and the rest in the world? Let us fight for good education, good results, and good percentages for our children. Because if we don't, we'll be judged by the next generation. So let's do it for a better South Africa and be proud to call South Africa home and do become the real rainbow nation. Madiba is a great ancestor wherever he is, and that is why we are all sitting here today, even though there are still things that we have to still talk about and all heal and make sure that this load shedding goes forever and there is something to look forward to. With those few words, I just want to say thank you very much. Ya cancer, ya leboga.
Thank you very much, Sis Yvonne. Nakenza Ngov. Thomas Sankara once said, Professor Nolita, he who does not love a woman despises his own mother, having come out of a kind womb of a woman. So I love women because my mother was a woman. I now introduce our next recipient, Umamaleta Mbulu Simenya. It is with immense honor that I introduce a true luminary in the world of music and culture. The incomparable Leta Mbulu Simenya, as a founding member of South African Artists United, SAU, as she played a pivotal role in the creation of political and historical musical buwa, where her talent took center stage in the lead role. Her return to South Africa in 1992 marked a significant milestone with the production of acclaimed album, Not Yet Uhuru. Not Yet Uhuru. Forging a powerful connection with the local audiences. Her residence in Orlando East, Soweto, is adorned with a Johannesburg heritage site blue plaque commemorating her significant contribution to the South African jazz scene. Alongside her husband, which I was looking forward to meet tonight, Tukazi, she continues to grace various local festivals, leaving a lasting impression with soul-stirring performance. Please join me in welcoming the phenomenal Leta Mbulu Simenya, a living legend whose contribution to the music and culture has left an indelible. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, I'm nervous. I prefer exaggerated speeches. Speeches like these where you have to read, talk. I just don't feel comfortable. But with you here sitting, I hope you can just send your spirit here so that I feel comfortable. From the University of Johannesburg Council, Vice Chair of Council, Dr. Yondela Ndema, Program Director, Mr. Franz Baleni, other council members present. From the University of Johannesburg Executive Leadership Group, Vice Chancellor, Mr. and Principal Professor Lutlokwa Mpedi, and other ELG members present. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Manene, namanenekazi. All protocol observed. It is indeed an honor, a privilege, and a blessing to be here this evening for this bestowal of the Ellen Kuzwayo Award by the University of Johannesburg. May I also take this opportunity to thank all the people who have considered me for this award. Please allow me to indulge in paying my respects to the men and women, educators in this space. They are, in my view, the repository of knowledge, tasked with imparting life-changing information for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying I humble myself before you for honoring me in this way. Your recognition of my work as a performing artist has been consistent, and your support has sustained me through the years. During the dark days of colonialism and apartheid in our country, where I was declared persona non grata, you continued to be my source of inspiration. You've become my compass so that I may stay on course. Allow me to take a trip down memory lane and share some of my fondest memories of Mistress Ellen Kuzwayo. She was one of my school teachers at Orlando Baptist Primary School. I was in Standard 2, now known as 4th grade. And in that class, she taught English and math. I have memories of her as having been a disciplinarian, a person with a sense of humor, very loving, but what stood out for me was a caring nature that she demonstrated to all of us students. To this day, I still hear in my memory bank her rhythm patterns that she utilized to teach math. She had the ability of making learning fun. I want to believe that her method of teaching math rhythmically left a seed that developed the artist in me. Our ancestors were not wrong when they coined the phrase, "It takes a village to raise a child." In my neighborhood in Orlando, East, where I grew up, my mom was not alone in raising me. It was a collective effort amongst adults, men and women of the community, to protect and care for all the neighborhood children, as it was the responsibility of the kids to respect and honor them as they would their parents. How I wish that we as a nation could have held on to those spiritual values. I salute all of you who still embrace this invaluable culture. For the sake of time, let me give you a brief history of how I started in this business. In 1957, I joined the African Jazz and Variety Show, which became my first world of music as a career. Young as I was, I had become a professional artist at the age of 13. Although at the time I did not fully grasp the impact of apartheid against the African people, still, I could tell that something was not normal. In 1964, I left for the US to join my husband, Caiaphas. Both he and the late Miriam Makeba arranged that I perform at the prestigious nightclub called the Village Gate in New York. My opening night was a success, if I must say so myself. Can I please have a glass of water, if it's possible? Okay. During my stay in US, I was introduced to many great artists. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, during my stay in the US, I was introduced to many great artists who were quite informed about South Africa. During that process, I was offered to share the platforms with some of them. To name a few, Mr. Kenwan Boladeli, who was a saxophone player, Mr. Harry Belafonte, of course, may Quincy Jones have already been mentioned. The list goes on. I would always be grateful to all of them for their contribution, and most importantly, for allowing me to expose the atrocities that were committed by the apartheid regime on their musical platforms. I'd like to go back about my discoveries of Ellen Kuzwayo. I'd like to go back about my discoveries of Ellen Kuzwayo endeavors while living in a foreign land. News about South Africa in America at that time was not easy to find. Nonetheless, I heard about a television news show called South Africa Now, which did an extensive coverage on the country's state of affairs. When the barbaric events of June 16, 1976 in Soweto was reported by South Africa Now, many people in America were surprised and horrified, including myself. And I still personally believe that the slaughter of innocent school children was and will always be an unforgivable act. To see children armed with nothing but courage and stones being gunned down by the military and the police left an indelible mark on the whole world. We commemorate the bravery of Mr. Sam Zima for his career-ending sacrifice by releasing the groundbreaking photos of Hector Peterson. On the very same program, I was fortunate to learn that my old teacher was a member of the Soweto Committee of 10, which was responsible for twisting the arm of the apartheid regime to release the students arrested on June 16. That, to me, confirmed the commitment and dedication of Ma Kuzwayo when it came to our children. In closing, I want to thank all of you for making me feel welcomed by the faculty, and also all of the distinguished guests who are here tonight. Once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart and mind, where all good ideas come from. How I wish I knew the name of the author who coined that amazing phrase, so I could pay some royalties. We are living in very difficult times. And we are a global family now. When one of us hurt, we all hurt. I would like, with your permission, to do a poem that I wrote 3 years ago. It's called 10 Years Old. She was only a little girl, big brown eyes, a wonderful smile. She was only 10 years old, her mother's child, an only child. She was a life of her family, her mother's pride, and an only child. She said one day to her mom, "Mother, mother, wait and see when I'm a grown-up what I will be. I would like to be a doctor because I love children. I like to watch them grow." She was a life of her family, an only child. There she lies now, under the rubble, with a twisted little body in a pool of blood. There they lie now, under the rubble, with twisted bodies in a pool of blood. Palestine, Palestine. The victory continues.
Sikhalela izwele elathathwa ngabamhlophe elathathwa ngabamhlophe. Mama uyeke nasizwe sikhalela izwe lethu elathathwa ngabamhlophe elathathwa ngabamhlophe elathathwa ngabamhlophe elathathwa ngabamhlophe elathathwa ngabamhlophe.
Thank you.
Lechoni
Lilanga.
Lechoni
Lilanga.
Uyani
Nenkomo.
Magwedi
Nekaya.
Magwedi
Nekaya.
Magwedi
Nekaya.
Lechoni
Lilanga.
Lechoni
Le.
Lechoni
Lilanga.
Lechoni
Lilanga.
Uyani
Nenkomo.
Magwedi
Nekaya.
Magwedi
Nekaya.
Magwedi
Nekaya.
Lechoni Lilanga Lechoni
Le. Kaya.
Melody yalla picheng Jericho.
Tele Jamirupa, Kapi Cheng
Fala fala yalla picheng Jericho.
Tele Jamirupa, Kapi Cheng Hulu.
Melody yalla picheng Jericho.
Tele Jamirupa, Kapi Cheng
Fala
Hulu.
fala yalla picheng Jericho.
Tele Jamirupa, Kapi Cheng Hulu.
Thank you so much. We introduced to you Project SA. On my far left is our bass singer, Josh Pule. And next to him is Mr. Knox Mabaso. And the following one is Busi Sibego. And then Elina Mandla Kosa. And then Vusumuzi Nhlapo. Thanks. I sing tenor, leads, she sings soprano, alto, baritone, and bass. All right. The following song is actually dedicated to the VC of UJ. We had especially packaged the song for him. And yeah, I wrote the song and then he arranged the harmonies on the song. So, Mr. Knox Mabaso. And the song goes a little something like this. We have to have a pitch, you know.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Otherwise, we won't sing well.
Yes, we do.
You've been through it all. The winds, the rivers, the valleys. Yet you showed the courage and smiled through every storm. The path that you walked on was full of every challenge. Yet you stood so tall, stood unshaken through it all. This is your day. This is the hour. Place all your day. This is your day. This is your day. This is the hour. Place all your day. This is your day. This
This is
Where
your
is
day.
he? Where is he?
She.
Okay.
Oh,
That's your song.
this is
Okay.
your day. sir.
All right.
Jigala maweni ndiyahamba, 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 jigala maweni ndiyahamba. Jigala maweni ndiyahamba, jigala maweni ndiyahamba, jigala maweni ndiyahamba, jigala maweni ndiyahamba, ajiga madoda, ajiga babanganda, ajiga madoda, 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 ajiga mkotini, jigala maweni ndiyahamba, 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 jigala maweni ndiyahamba. Cleanse my way, I cleanse up my mind, I cleanse up my way, I cleanse him, I cleanse my way, I cleanse up my mind, I cleanse up my way, I cleanse him, I cleanse my way, I cleanse up my mind, I cleanse up my way, I cleanse him, I cleanse my way, I cleanse up cleanse kotini, jigala maweni ndiyahamba, 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 jigala maweni ndiyahamba.
Yep.
Flowers of the nation, because of the world, they bloom for all to see. The wonders of mankind, flowers of the nation, gave all they could do as a nation. Give them all our love.
Flowers of the nation.
Flowers of
Tulips of
our past. as a nation. Give them all our love. Give them all our love. Flowers of the nation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonas Gwangwa.
All right. Now to the last song. All the songs we've sung are South African originals.
Yes.
If you paid attention, you'll see Tina C's was a South African original, like Langa, Melody, Mahatini, and the Queens.
Yes.
And then, of course, the other one is an original of ourselves. And then Chigila Mawane, of course, South African song, Flowers of the Nation. Jonas Gwangwa, the late.
Yes.
Kilo as well. And then the last one, you'll figure out yourselves.
Yes.
But thank you for being a very beautiful audience tonight.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right.
It happens. It happens.
Okay.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 hey. Hamba, hamba. Goli, goli. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Hamba, hamba. Goli, goli. Kappa, kappa, so singela. Hamba, non togolo. Hamba, hamba. Goli, goli. Kappa, kappa, so singela. Hamba, non togolo. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Sing along if you know it. Goli, goli. Kappa, kappa, so singela. Hamba, non togolo. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 yeah.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you so much.
Item. Technology has advanced since Yvonne. When I was in a choir, there was that fork they used to cling, and now they just pull a cell phone. So do, key F, and so on. Yeah, well done, well done. We are now moving on to the presentation of Dignitas Awards. As the Deputy Chairperson has indicated, what does it mean? The Latin word of dignitas, which refers to the almost physical aura that surrounds a person once he or she has fulfilled an important task. It therefore has implied that meaning that of the deserving merit and worthiness. And I think appreciating the Ellen Kuzwayo recipients, Omama, particular generation, and now this one, a slightly younger generation, which it means that is development. We're not static, we are moving. It's a relay, Doc. It's a relay, and it must be appreciated. Allow me to introduce Ms. Lebogang Letsoalo. Lebogang Letsoalo is not just a global supply chain coach. She's a driving force behind Sinopoint, a company that stands at the forefront of sustainable supply chain consulting solution, tracking and logistics services, and mentorship and coaching in procurement and logistics. As the CEO of Sinopoint, Lebogang is not only efforts for youth, women, entrepreneurs, and professionals in transport sector. You just have to add pensioners. She has been profiled as one of the 100 global most influential women in supply chain. Among the accolades, that as a global 100% top women in supply chain and and in supply chain in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the inspirational Lebogang Letsoalo, a true luminary and change maker in the global supply chain arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. By the way, I am a trucker, hey? So if you see me with these stilettos, one thing that you must know is that I still wear those safety boots and out there with the truckers and also with the drivers. The Deputy Chair of the Council, all the Council members, the Vice Chancellor and executive members that are here, the Program Director, Ntate Baleni and Me Baleni, all the dignitaries that are here, and I will say I will ride on all excellence observed. I have learned that with UJ, they do not say all protocol observed. So all excellence observed. So this evening I decided to put up some notes because as a speaker, one of the things is that I coach as well and I can go on for a very long time. So I had to really guide myself into what I say so that I can also manage my time this evening. I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to the esteemed council who decided to select me amongst a lot of people that has been nominated for this prestigious Dignitas Award. I receive it with pride. Your judgment and belief in my abilities mean more to me than the words can really convey this evening. I am profoundly grateful for your recognition of my contributions in the industry and also the accomplishments that I have received in the industry. I have to say it's been 25 years. I joined UJ in 1998, and standing here again, being recognized by the same universities that I started with, for me, I feel very honored as well. I am very humbled. I'm grateful to be amongst the distinguished individuals awarded and those that has received the same accolade in the past. The list says it all in terms of those that has done well and those that has been rewarded for this, the same award. Personally, colleagues, it is a reminder of where I started as a young girl who joined the University of Johannesburg, very wounded, I may say so. But that's the young girl who also received the 2 merit awards from the same universities. I don't even remember what I did, but all I remember is that I did receive 2 merit awards on my first and the second year. So standing here again means a lot to me. So the award really holds tremendous significance for me as it embodies one of my values. And for and the women that I work with. So with all of that, it's really close to my heart, which is the supply chain profession. I think all of us are aware that the supply chain profession has been one that has been very neglected for a while. However, we see that the eminence of corruption in the industry, the eminence of the logistics challenges that we are facing as well, logistics becomes the backbone of our country. And everyone now starts seeing the importance of supply chains and really saying, how do we really grow our economies without really forgetting the transport and logistics sector as a whole? I'm really grateful that I'm able to change the narrative in the industry. And that is the narrative now that also has to drive the Africa Free Continental Trade Area. So all the work that I really push is really around how we drive the protocols around Africa, how we ensure that we grow the pipeline around South Africa and also Africa through our youth. That is why, as part of my profile, the work that you are doing under African Women in Supply Chain Association is really how we drive the entrepreneurship and workplace readiness programs. And I'm really glad that we're working with the youth and the students that are studying with UJ to make sure that they get access to the industry, they get access to the learnerships, to ensure that they get the mentors, the industry leads that are out there are making an impact in their lives. And if you look at the Africa Free Continental Trade Area also, it drives a lot of entrepreneurship. And that is why we work towards ensuring that we enable intra-trade also through partnering as well. But more so the women. Our transport sector is very interesting. We, in average, I always say that it's close to 319 billion in terms of the contribution to the economy. And we have less than 20% of women that are participating in it. So that narrative has to change. And the drive around how we coach and how we mentor is really around how we bring all the entire stakeholders, inclusive of academia, the industry association, to be able to change that narrative. This award really reminds me of treating others with dignity, which is very important. Sometimes we tend to forget about treating each other with dignity. We look at people's statuses, we look at where people are coming from. But this award for me is really around how we treat others with dignity, how we allow others to be seen, how we allow others to be heard as well, and how we ensure that others are able to grow through our voices. So I always say that not everyone has got a voice to speak out there. Not everyone will be confident to stand and speak in front of others. However, there are people that are being planted, and as you get planted, it's very important that you become the voice of others, become the voice that changes the narrative. So that is my commitment, and that has been my commitment as well to continue serving. The reality about growth is that no individual achievement is ever accomplished in isolation. So all of my achievements and all my contribution to the industry would not have been possible without the unwavering support of my family. They are here. My sisters, they are here. My mom is here. By the way, it is the first time that my mom attends any of my awards, out of all the nominations and awards that I have received. Oh, by the way, and she made sure that I look like this. She makes my clothes. To all of them, I really extend my deepest gratitude. So my mom, with this award, it is dedicated to her. Like I said earlier, that I joined UJ as a very wounded young girl who was 18 years and just had a baby. And you know what? My mom sacrificed that for me to come to university at the old TWR, by the way. And she made sure that she gave me space to grow. And that space is the one that I utilize to be where I am. So, Mama, this award is yes, that award, it is dedicated to you. I also have to acknowledge some of the individuals from the universities of Johannesburg. Maybe some of you remember Dr. Voortman. Dr. Craig Freudman was one of my logistics lecturers. One of the things that he taught me was that we need to have passion in all that we do, and said that if you want to succeed in this industry, passion is very important. He used to make a lot of jokes around the mother-in-law and the biscuits that he used to sell. So for some of those that has really been part of his lectures will remember the person that you are. So he instilled that passion in me, in really saying that when you go out there, ensure that you become passionate. You make sure that whatever you do, we do it all with your heart as well. There's also one lecturer that we had, Mr. Smithard. Mr. Smithard always used to remind us that logistics is not for the faint-hearted. Supply chain is not for the faint-hearted. You see, when you are young, you don't really get to understand where that was coming from. But he has really driven that narrative to say that you have to have a tough heart, you need to be able to be dedicated as well in the industry. To the UJ colleagues, to the team, I always have to say that there is a power in collaboration and teamwork. And this power of collaboration, especially where we are heading up to in terms of the country, is where academia must work hand in hand with the industry in terms of the skills of the future, in terms of industry also informing the curricula, so that there is alignment in the industry. We are aware also of 4IR. I believe that UJ has really been leading from the technology perspective, and I really have to applaud you. But also that alignment that is needed with the industry is one of the work that we believe that collaboration is very critical in ensuring that we are able to achieve, ensuring that most of the youth also that comes out of the universities are the youth that are really expected by the industry. So from my side, we've been playing a lot of work in really with the students, like I said earlier, and really advising in terms of the future curricula of transport and logistics. I have to say that we will continue, and myself commit to really being resolute in supporting you in your, as an advisory committee member, and bringing other members of the industry, the stakeholders, the advisory bodies, to really come and be part and parcel of this process. I want to dedicate this award, lastly, to those that are facing adversity, those that are feeling unseen, the women out there that do not have a voice. A lot of women need the voice, need a person that can really give them hope, a person that could be their mentor, a person that could be their coach, a person that can be their sponsor in the industry, in our profession as well. So this award really is also about those that are facing adversity. I really want to thank you again for the honor. I promise that I will carry this award as a reminder of my responsibility, being an advocate for change, being able to change the narrative, being able to build the economy, being able to upskill, to capacitate, because it's in my heart to really serve. I would like to congratulate again all the recipients of the awards. Yvonne, congratulations. Membuli, congratulations. Tabilo, where is she? Congratulations again. It is an honor to stand here and really be receiving the award with yourself on stage. I am honored. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure, Mama, as they say, ukuzala kuzolula. You're very proud. I was just thinking, Lebogang, hore, I hope you can or you will make a contribution in the railway infrastructure challenges. That said, let's invite our second recipient in this category of Dignitas, who is Ms. Tabilo Pumo. Currently, Tabilo holds the esteemed position of Executive Vice President and Head of Stakeholder Relations at Sibanye Stillwaters. And Sibanye is the largest single employer in South Africa. Showing her strategic acumen in navigating the complex landscape of corporate affairs, her vast experience extends across prominent organizations, including the University of South Africa, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the Commission of Gender Equality, and Anglo-American Platinum Limited. Her involvement as a curriculum reviewer and content contributor for the 10th edition of the Handbook for Public Relations reflects her dedication to shaping the future of the industry. Her commitment to the academic and professional development of her field underscored by a previous role as a board member of PRISA and chairperson of Group Technical Security Management, PTY. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Tabilo Pumo, a distinguished corporate affairs specialist, strategic leader, and influential figure in the world of public relations and stakeholder relations.
My leader, program director, chairperson of the council in absentia, deputy chairperson and members of council, the vice chancellor and the university leadership and the academic staff, my family, distinguished guests. I am nervous today. I normally write people's speeches. I don't normally write my own, but I'm very, very, very humbled to be in the company of Lebo in getting this award. When I read up, I was like, okay, there must be a fluke somewhere, because you've done a lot, so I'm humbled and I've learned from you, and I want to learn more. But I'm having internal fainting moments being in the company of Mamleta and also Yvonne. So as I was looking at the program yesterday, I said, I grew up dancing to Thank You, Mr. DJ. So now to be in the same stage, it's like, okay, what has happened? Maybe my ancestors had a meeting yesterday and something big happened. So I'm truly, truly dwarfed. I truly am having internal fainting moments. And I remember my father bought me something called a 45. I don't think everybody remembers what a 45 is. It was LP, smaller nyana one. And my smaller nyana LP used to play There's Music in the Air. So I'm sitting here going, wow. You know, history, many, many years later, there is really music in my air today. And there's music in my air today because I just firstly want to thank God. I come from a township, in fact, Davidton. And I do not know that people know that most of us who succeed from the township do so because of the prayers of the many women in the townships. I'm here because now my people pray every Thursday. And I remember when I went to my first university, because Rao, or UJ, was my second one, my grandmother saying, we are not praying for you to succeed so you can be an individualistic. If we are dead, as your ancestors, you succeed and you succeed alone, we will take it all away from you. We would want you to succeed. We will see your success the day we see your impact. And so I stand here as a result of the women besambato, but this day. I'm not here on my own. So as I stand here, there are my ancestors behind me. There are those women from the Roman Catholic Church, the Methodist Church, who used together to say, Tabsile, you are our hope. You come from this township. We want you to show people that God exists. And so today, it's not by what I did, it's by what God has done. Secondly, my family. My career took me everywhere. As you have seen, I traveled the rest of South Africa, I traveled the world. You are not able to do that, make an impact, if you do not have an understanding family. We underestimate the sacrifices that the partners and the children make for us to succeed. What my family has told me is that it is possible. It is that when I'm out there, they are giving me out there to the world. And for that, they are willing to pay a sacrifice because somebody's got to do it. So I want to thank them for giving me an opportunity of somebody's got to do it. I am in a very difficult industry. And she says, today we're looking kind of a little better. Tina singama maina. So we work in the trenches, digging platinum, digging gold, and doing all sorts of things that maybe some of you, as you wear your rings, you play your TVs, you do not understand that it is all because of the work that we do. There in the gold mines, there in the platinum mines. So the people in the mining industry welcomed me over 25 years ago. It was a male-dominated industry. I was welcomed by men who, one, did not want women, but they told me, if you stuck it out, we will make sure we don't weed you out. So I'd like to thank those men. But I was also welcomed by men who said, we want women to succeed. So in my mining career, I didn't succeed because of me. I was held by the men who wanted to make women succeed. So they are there. So as we fight for the discourse for women to succeed, let's not underestimate the power of the willing men to make that happen. So, and Baba Len is my boss in that industry. Once upon a time, I was a member of NUM, but then I got promoted and I was told you can't be a member of a union. So we come from there because we were protected. Bengazi ukuthi yabona mina wangenza something yotshela NUM. We understand. So thank you, Baba Leni, for protecting women like me when employment equity was not an agenda in this country. The University of Johannesburg. I always laugh and I said I'm an affirmative action of the University of Johannesburg. Once upon a time, I completed my degree and I didn't even want to come back because I just struggled with research and Prof. Gideon Devet was giving me grief and I said, if I pass, I'm not coming back. And then one morning, I got a phone call from one of the lecturers saying, you are in corporate, have been there for long. We want you just two things, review the curriculum and tell us if it is relevant. And I was like, I've never done this before. I don't know what you're asking me to do. And the late Prof. Hervé, who I'll also be dedicating this award to, say, just try. So what the University of Johannesburg that day did for me is they saw me ngesintu bathi siyakubona. I wasn't just a number. I became a person who partnered with the university not only to work on that curriculum review, I went on to do many programs. And I remember one day, my first international conference, I was a tag-on to one of the professors at the university. That's why I call myself an affirmative action person. So there I was in Morocco with a professor, and I was like, don't read my CV too loud because I'm not a professor. The university saw me. And years later, it continued to see me. So I stand as the first person, probably in my township, to co-edit the first strategic communication book in this continent because of the University of Johannesburg. So our relationship with the university, so I'm humbled by this. Our relationship with the university has expanded, not only to the academic roles, but to what I'm very passionate about that I call the missing middle. The missing middle coincides with my agenda because I come from the township. I do know how many of us go missing, and which is why I continue to commit my life to the work that we do with the women of the Women Inspired Women Connect. What we do is we hold other women who need to be held. We support women through skills, we support them through coaching, but we gave them a mandate when COVID happened to say, you can't succeed alone. It can't be fashionable to have 5 successful people in South Africa because it's not sustainable. The women then said, make the agenda an African agenda and we will join you. To date, with the women of the Inspired Connect, who I also want to dedicate this award, we've done work in Ghana, we've done work in Namibia, we've done work in Zambia, we've done work in Zimbabwe. And these are ordinary women of South Africa who you will never know, who you possibly shouldn't know. I always say maybe it's by accident that you would hear this story today. Why I'm telling you this is South Africa and Africa is challenged, but it's got a high level of intellects, a high level of number of people who are able to save the continent. Let's get out from our tables, complaining about the government, complaining about the poverty. Let's start small and plant a seed. 300 women have joined us, and they are doing this work one person at a time. I was seen by the university. I was seen by the mining companies. And I do pray that you see other women like me. If you go to my township today, it's disaster. It is only a disaster because most of us don't go back to see people like me who are seen by Prof. Hervé, who are seen by the mining industry, who are seen by the women in my village, in my township. So for me, this award is for the women in my life, for the women in the townships who need to know it's possible. I'm not the smartest. I'm not even the most hardworking. I'm not even the most influential person. But somebody saw and told me it is possible. So I stand here today on the message. Thank you. I stand here today on the message that it is possible. I do pray that the university continues to hunt young women like me, like I was hunted by Prof. Hervé, to tell me it is possible. Thank you for acknowledging me. I think of the many awards that I've received, this is the biggest one. Because I love education, and you are telling me that education is the key. And so I have no words to thank those who nominated me, to thank those who felt I was worthy to receive the awards. But most importantly, I go to bed smiling today with my family and my ancestors, telling them that I made it because of your prayers. But I didn't just make it. You made it special and put my icons in the same room that I was in today. In my language, ngiyabonga. In Sepedi, ke a leboga. In English, thank you. In Afrikaans, baie dankie. In Twi, medase. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tabs. Because you are a minor, Rempedi, during the days of negotiations, especially in the gold mines, went to the Chamber of Mines and they said, look, we can't give you the increase you are demanding because the gold price is down. Now, when the message goes back to the membership, it's put in a simple way. Makgowa a re gauta e fatshe. So the bosses are saying the gold is down. And saying one gentleman stood up and said, please tell us, who is taking this gold down when we're bringing it up every day? Osteps, you have confirmed we have many good people in South Africa. Many good and hard-working people. Ethical, excellent. There are those who are so negative about this country as if it's about to collapse. And I can assure you, if the criminals and the unethical were in majority, we wouldn't be sitting here. Just because they are a small minority causing so much havoc, they give an impression as if they are ruling the country. These examples, these recipients from the University of Johannesburg confirm that the future can be bright. I don't have 2 passports. I can't go anywhere. I'm here to stay, Mamaleta Mbuli. And many of you are here to stay. We've got to make it work by standing up and fight for our land, for our country. With that, I invite the Vice Chancellor. We are almost done. Those who are tired, as I promised, the Vice Chancellor, over to you. And as the Vice Chancellor concludes his presentation, we kindly ask all the recipients to come on stage with the Deputy Chairperson and the Registrar and take a picture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director Re Baleni, as I affectionately call you. I also don't have 2 passports, despite being a chief in Ghana, in case you wondered. Let me start by acknowledging our member of council and our program director this evening, Baleni, and your beautiful wife. I also want to acknowledge Mayor Baleni in her professional role as the DG in the presidency. I hope I put it nicely, and I'm doing this with ulterior motive, if I could put it like that. DG, since I became Vice Chancellor of the great University of Johannesburg, the president never visited us, so you get the hint. Let me also acknowledge Deputy Chair of our council, Dr. Yondela Ndema. Please allow me to also acknowledge members of the Council of the University of Johannesburg present here this evening, members of the Management and Executive Committee of the Great University of Johannesburg, the Executive Leadership Group, colleagues. I'll be making a big mistake if I do not acknowledge the people that brought us together to a large extent. This is a council dinner, and is an evening where the council awards this important awards that you can never get at the Great University of Johannesburg, apart from your doctorates and so on. And I'm in heaven. I'm so happy to be sharing this auditorium with you, Mayor Yvonne Chaka Chaka. My wife didn't know when I told her that I don't know whether I should send her a congratulatory message, but I'll see her. And she said, did you have her number? I said, I have her on WhatsApp. Which is true, that she can confirm, So really, it's so amazing to have you here. Mayor Leta Mbulu Semenya, I've been trying to get hold of you and your husband to have tea with me. And that gentleman over there, Dr. Wongani Ngulunga, said, I'll connect you. I'm still waiting. I'm starting to think that he doesn't have any connection with you. That tonight, I'm going to connect myself with you. So I'm going to get your number, invite you, and Mayor Yvonne Chaka Chaka to have tea with me. And if you receive, I'll say the previous recipient, Recipo Hostix Mabuse, had tea with me, and we had a lot of fun. We learned so much about the great work that he's doing. And our Dignitas Award recipients this evening, I'm so inspired. Mayor Leang, I took this program so that I don't mess this thing up, because I know when I get here, then I start to mix up names and so on. But I got it right. And Tabilo, Pumo, really, and your families and your guests, it's great to be here. We're here because of you. We have a saying in my language that means horoha, which means a guest, please visit us so that we can eat. We are eating and drinking this evening because of you. So I thank you for the bottom of my heart. Now I have a problem because I have a speech that is worthy of being delivered by a Vice Chancellor of a great University of Johannesburg and a chief on top of that, and a professor in the field of law. Now I understood Baleni very well when he was saying we are 30 minutes late because of traffic and all those. And I was like, there goes my speech and time. And my wife told me clearly on our way here that no long Mississippi stories. People need to get home on time. And I am aware of the fact that I'm the one now that is preventing you from leaving. So my speech, the length of my speech, will determine how long you stay in this auditorium. So then I said to her, if you care to know, I said, look, they know these things take time. They go on, And another thing, it's a Friday, but she said, remember, tomorrow is Sabbath. My wife is a member of the Seventh-day Adventist, and I fear my wife more than the UJ Council that appointed me. So I am going to shorten my speech, but I'll do my very best to make it as impactful as possible. It was in this very same auditorium, and I was thinking, colleagues, the screen was on that side, the stage was on that side when I was called to address the audience. Many of people who are present today, and I was the incoming Vice Chancellor designate, and I made this statement, and I didn't want to sound arrogant, but I had to say it the way it had to be said. People are saying, oh, big shoes to fill, oh, there's all sorts of changes. Oh, what are we going to do? And I said, for me, I'm bringing my own shoes. I said, I can only do me, because if I try to be someone else, I'm going to fail. And when I was walking out with the chair of council, she was new, and she was about to take over. She said, Litloka, what are we going to do? I said, Chair, we've got this covered. And said, I like your confidence. And it may sound like I knew it all. I didn't know it all, but I said, hell, alone, I won't make it. But with the colleagues that are employed by this university together, it's a relay, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take this university forward. And today, almost a year later, the University of Johannesburg is not only surviving, it's thriving. And as you have heard from the colleagues. And from my side, I'm grateful to all of you who support us and our stakeholders. And I thought I should say this. Thank you so much. Now, earlier I said I'm really in heaven. Or if I didn't use those words, let me repeat or let me say them. I'm in heaven because we grew up listening to your music, ma'am. Near my mother's house, she reminds me now that this is not your house, it's my house. So I call it my mother's house. There's a shebeen where we went there to listen to the latest music. And I remember Umkomboti when it came out. I mean, I come from a Tswana-speaking area. Although my mother is Swati, that never spoke to us in Swati. We wanted to know, what does this mean? I mean, we were singing to that. I remember there were those shoes called Stephen Charles. They were white. Now I'm thinking, you know, I begged my mother to buy me Stephen Charles, which she never bought me. And now I hate those, and I'm saying those are the ugliest shoes, you know. And I said, when I'm working, I'm going to buy as many pairs of Stephen Charles. She said, you are not working now, but study hard, and one day you will buy those. Now I don't want those shoes. But people were wearing those shoes, listening to your music. Your music gave us hope. Thank you so much. And when I go to my village in Hammanskraal, I'm going to tell my homeboys that we shared a table. I have you on WhatsApp. I have pictures with you. Life can be worse than, better than that, Rebalini. And Mele Tambul, one of my favorite songs, you know, of yours is, everybody mentioned it this evening, I mustn't mess it up, there's music in the air. I sometimes say there's love in the air. My wife says, no, you're making your own life. I was 1 year old when the song was released, but I love it nonetheless. And I'll tell you why. You know, I'm one of those that was kicked. If I could sing, I would sing this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, if I could, I would. But the problem is, I'm one of those who was kicked out of a school choir very at a young age, and that traumatized me. But it encouraged my love for music. It didn't destroy that. You know, they would say, sing, say, aye. You are a case of a total lack of talent. Those were the words that I heard. And then I said, well, they won't stop me from enjoying music. I love music. Dr. Vuguza knows. And what I love about this song is you think it has ended, then it continues. I'm telling you, it's just amazing. Thank you so much. You gave us hope. But before I talk about hope, I must acknowledge our students. Apologies, SG. You know, I was quick to talk about Stephen Charles. Let me also acknowledge our convocation, especially the president of the convocation. Apologies for that. I was so quick to say this because I'm really excited. One of the speakers talked about hope. No. You didn't talk about, I mustn't remember things that never happened. But my understanding of some of the things you said, and I'll talk about it, was hope, you know, and having dreams, you know. That is the long short of it. I mean, your music helped us dream, you know. I mean, I dreamt about living, you know, in a big city. The village I come from, we see Bela that site. We would lock our gate at 7 o'clock without fail. My mother didn't want strangers coming in. And then I would look at those lights in Bela. I said, but there must be a better place. Bela, the lights are, you know, they don't seem to shine as bright as we are told Joburg is, you know. And I'm sorry, Bessie, marriage was the last thing on my mind, you know. And I'm sorry for making you wait 7 years or 8 years, I can't even remember. And it was not just me. I mean, our homeboys, you know, would go to fetch wood. and after doing our chores, we'd listen to Mkomboti. I'm in love with the DJ. We didn't even know what the DJ was, but we just sang along. And would dream about growing up. I said, guys, I want to go to the big city. I want to work. And I remember one of our homeboys said, as soon as I get a job, the first order of business, I'm getting married. And I said, no, that's not for me. And my dream was to buy, and Professor Amanda Dempsey had the story, and the CFO on Monday. My dream was to buy a duvet set. I'm telling you, and I'm mentioning this not to waste your evening. When I look at our students at UJ, I'm like, these young men and women have dreams like I had dreams. Like we had from Meta Bisile. Somebody believed in her. Somebody guided her. Somebody pulled her out of the rest, from the township. And people call us the lucky ones. And believe you me, I think we are the lucky ones, because you say there are a lot of people from Davidton. I can bring you lots of my homeboys. Many were brighter than me. But they never got the chances that we have. We were fortunate because somebody believed in us. I wanted to, the first order of business was, I'm going to buy a duvet set. Because there was a beauty pageant, and the first prize was a duvet set. And then I went to my older sister. I said to her, what is a duvet? I'm sorry, Madam CFO, we are hearing the story for the second time in 1 week. People need to understand that we were not born vice chancellors. And this University of Johannesburg takes these kids with dreams and make them realize their dreams. We were at Investec this week, where there were lots. I never felt so smart because I was surrounded by people in the accountancy profession. Oh, Professor Nzalaze, when they speak, you are like, wow, I'm dumb. Although I studied law, I felt these are people who work with numbers, eh? And I sat there and I'm like, this is amazing. UJ is amazing, ladies and not because I'm citizen number one. First paycheck, I'm buying a duvet set. I said to my older sister, duvet. She said, what is that? I said, D-U-V-E-T. She said, no, duvet. I said, there is no Y there. It's duvet. And then I said, what is it? She said, oh, that is a luxurious bedding, not like your Pep store blankets that are scratchy at night. I said, when I work, I want to buy that luxurious set. And my first salary, I bought it. I went to Church Square, Edgar's. I bought the whole set. Women will know, I bought those pillows. I said, I want them, the curtains matching. And my wife is here. When we started going out, I had that in my apartment. And she said, no, there's another woman that chose this. I said, she's here. I said, no, don't underestimate a black man from a village with a dream. But I couldn't dream, and I'm not talking just about me, but I just want to emphasize the power of education, what we have heard from our speakers today. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what UJ is doing. Majority of our students are first generation to come to university. I'm not going to talk about other things. The Deputy Chair ably talked about our rankings and so on. One thing that I want to remind everyone, and I know this is recorded, and we're going to play it again on YouTube, so that people know that a university today should not be proud about how exclusive it is. There are men and women there with dreams that are going to change this world. My colleague here, Dr. Ngulunga, sorry I'm putting you on the spot too much. You said something, I never mentioned the name, but today I'm going to mention it. When we talk, he says, Vice Chancellor of the great University of Johannesburg. I said, yes. This thing won't last. I must enjoy it while it lasts. He says, I have this strong belief that the future of this country is in the hands of this great University of Johannesburg. And I never responded. You know, lawyers can be diplomatic. Dr. Vuguza knows, you know. If I just want to say something, I got your message, I just say thanks for sharing. I didn't commit to anything, but I thanked you. And I'll just say, you know, something like that. And increasingly, and he will tell you this evening, I said, you know what, I agree with you. These young men and women with only one passport are the ones that are going to say, we stand against corruption. We stand for ethical leadership. We know what it means to have a tough life, because all they have is the educational opportunities they got. There is this saying that if you put thorns on the path of others, your children will step on those thorns. They will know that they should not be like others. Besides, at UJ, we do not tolerate corruption. You see it in the news. We'll follow it through. We don't care you're a student. You steal. We'll guide you in the right way. We'll correct you in the right way. Isn't it, Dr. Vuguza? Let me move on, because I know now your freedom depends on what I say. But please, allow me to speak my mind. Allow me to really celebrate these great women. I was listening and watching the humility. The humility. How many people think they have made it? I'll tell you tonight, the ladies who are honoring tonight, they are humble, you know. There are people I know. I know of a man who graduated with a BA degree, who were just students, you know, pupils with dreams. At the graduate ceremony at these villages where we come from, some of us who would walk around and say, men like me wearing this black gown. Some say we are mourning for education. And villagers say, wow, this man is learned. And nobody had said there's a red degree for a PhD. And everybody aspired to be like him, talk like him. BA, there's nothing wrong with BA. It took 10 years at UNISA because it had 10 modules. That is not a role model. These ladies are humble, but you are associated with a good brand, because as the great University of Johannesburg, we are not arrogant people. Would you believe that we are number 1 in Africa in terms of engineering? I'm sure you didn't know. That is the Times Higher Education ranking that came out 2 weeks ago. I'm not talking about old historical stories. Did you know, Professor Nzalaza? Of course, you should know, because you are the dean. Otherwise, then... The School for Tourism and Hospitality is number 1 in Africa. You clapped too soon. I don't know what you are going to do. It's number 6 in the world. It was number 9 last year. It climbed 3 spaces, and it's slowly but surely approaching the number 1 spot. Watch this space, I'm telling you. Now, as the great University of Johannesburg, we say, we can do wonderful research, we can do nice things, but if the things we do not impact positively on the society, the communities that we serve, then we do not worth the name of being a university. Gone are the days where people brag about how many few students they have from exclusive families. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I come from a poor family doesn't mean I have to be jealous. But today, a university should be about uplifting lives, transforming lives. Nothing transforms lives like education. The power of education, the transformative power of education should not be downplayed, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't be here today addressing you, meeting people that I really enjoyed listening to your music. It's like a dream. And when you saw you on television, it was like, these are the people that, do they breathe? Do they eat? Are they like me? It's good they're on television. I mean, they would look at my old clothes, they wouldn't even look at me. But because of education, here we are. And there are many others. I listened carefully when you spoke, I met Tabisile. You're basically saying, had it not been for education that you got at the great University of Johannesburg, despite the name it was called then, I also did a qualification, by the way, during the Rao days, you wouldn't be here today. When I listened carefully, you are saying, had it not been for TWR, it's UJ. You, Jay, you wouldn't be doing exciting things that we are doing, and I can tell you there are many more like you out there. And let's celebrate them. Let's encourage that. We need you, ladies and gentlemen, to help us do the great work that we are doing. It's not a fundraising. It's just, planting the seed. I see Sibanye is giving millions to some people down the road. Maybe one day they will remember us. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. You talked about dignity, Melitol. You're speaking my language. See people, don't judge people by just looking at them. Very recently, Dr. Alpata was there. We'll tell you, I'm not lying. We had the Long Service Award, and I had this thing, And you see, if it was a church setup, I would say God spoke to me, but I don't want to, bring God into this at the moment. But I think he spoke to me. Dr. Joe Manyaka gave me and other MEC members these work suits, Mine even has vice chancellor and principal and so on. I said, this is nice. Let me wear this to the Long Service Awards. The men and women that wear this 365 days per annum will appreciate me wearing this because they will be wearing their own private clothes. Let's celebrate them. And I went there and people looked at me as I was crazy, but when I explained myself, they understood what was happening. And I walked around the tables greeting people. And one table in particular looked at me once and I said, how are you? Good morning. They just said, good morning. It's just like, leave us alone type of thing. The body language, and I walked away. Dr. Alpert is our COO. How often people put their titles before them being human beings? So I heard you when you talked about dignity. And coming from somebody as accomplished as yourself makes me think that by insisting on us seeing people as human beings first, I'm not crazy. Because without these titles, who are we? There are people who look at us who aspire to be us. Do you want them to aspire to be people who don't see other people because of what they are wearing? This is not what the University of Johannesburg is all about. So I heard you loud and clear, and thank you so much. And I said to myself, this is a graduate of the great University of Johannesburg. Metabisile, I listened to you carefully when you talked about it is possible. You really made my evening because when we have Women's Month and events, speaker after speaker, not at UJ, but all sorts of places, it's men are this, men are that. And I'm like, come on, guys. Not all men are bad. And we cannot address challenges facing women today without working together. If as men we are seen as the enemy, then we will not solve this problem because we are all painted with the same brush. And how can we jump into the trenches while we are called names, So really, what you said really made my evening, that it was other men that supported you. And from that, I'm saying, let's work together to address the challenges that women are facing in professions, at universities, and everywhere. So I heard you loud and clear, and thank you very much. And I said, that is a graduate of the great University of Johannesburg. I don't think graduates from other places I don't want to mention, they would talk like that. So I thought I should talk about that. So at UJ, ladies and gentlemen, we make dreams come true. We make dreams come true. CAs, lawyers, people who are told you won't amount to anything. Can you believe it? I'm now vice chancellor. People used to say, you are smart, but you are going nowhere. I said, but who are you to say this? Some of people who taught us we respected, one man said the only certificate you guys will get, it's a birth and a death certificate. I'm not lying. This guy said, the only title you will have is a mister, because a mister and a miss are born. It's just we are not raised as arrogant. You know, when I got my PhD, I thought I should go and say, you, from today, you will address me as doctor. Nothing else. But you don't act like that. So our students, you know, when they come, Mr. SG, all of them, they don't talk about their duvet dreams. But I'm sure they have dreams. It might be something as trivial, you know, as another thing that I said to myself, this thing I can't afford, but when I work, when my wife is here, will attest, and I know this evening is not about me, and I don't want to put you on the spot. It's chomp. I couldn't afford chomp. If you know chomp, when she goes to the shops, you don't buy me one chomp. You buy some at 5. We start from 5, and when I eat it, I'm like, hell, I never afforded you. But thanks to education, I can have as many of you as I can. So, as the University of Johannesburg, we definitely help people realize their dreams. And my promise to you today is that we are going to continue to do that. Now, with these awards, we talk about societal impact. Because we can't do amazing things and not impact the society positively. But we don't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. And my colleague, Dr. Vuguza, reminded me, and it's true, we also acknowledge those people that impact the society positively, like those that we are honoring this evening. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, in UJ, those who are not attached to UJ in any way, you won't go wrong if you partner with University of Johannesburg. My wish is that at least during our time when we are, because this is limited time, General Counsel, you know, after 10 years, if you are lucky, goodbye. Me, it's the same. But we should be able to look back and say, we made a difference. It's a relay. And then hand, you know, is it baton or baton to the next group? That should build this university. That is not even 20 years. Prof. Marwala said to me, my brother, we're building a university that one day will be 100 years old. Prof. Aaron Rensbeck did his bit. He moved on. He came, he built on that, and he's moving on. He said, you are coming on. You are going to bring your own personal touch. If UJ fails, I shall have failed. I don't know if it's a sign I must shut up. I'm wrapping up. Reba Leni said, you hear somebody says, in conclusion, my last words, and then goes on and on. So he said, we're building a 100-year-old university, university that one day will be 100 years old. He said, if things go wrong, he shall have failed. So if we succeed, he also, this is sabotage. He said, when you succeed, I also succeed. And I understood him loud and clear. And I can tell you, it's 12 months later that the university, as you have heard, is moving on. I could talk and talk about what is happening at the university, but this is not the time. As I indicated, I am standing between you and your freedom. But allow me to conclude by saying, you know, through these awards, we are honoring really great people that you know, will serve and who serve as ambassadors to our community and communities. And please allow me to congratulate them once again for having accepted. You can't take this for granted. Council will approve, but a potential recipient of an award can say, how much? There's no money. But they accepted and graciously, and you had them. And allow me to congratulate them again. And I would like to say to our award recipients this evening that they represent the very spirit of UJ. You heard me in my unprepared speech. They definitely represent the spirit of this university. And I say to you, as we sit in each other's company a little longer, I hope we will, I'll leave you this evening with a Moroccan proverb. I love proverbs. If people remember the Vice Chancellor of Proverbs and sayings, African sayings, I won't mind that. I just released a book on African saints, rethinking leadership through African saints. I'm advertising it because if you buy it, royalties go to bursary fund to support students, and thanks to those who bought it. And I'm waiting for JBS to invite me so that we can advertise it some more. So this Moroccan proverb says, there is no beauty but the beauty of action. Let me repeat this. There is no beauty but the beauty of action. People tell you, I will, and they do nothing, and nothing happens. I hope you understood me. Ladies and gentlemen, may the feats described tonight and these words embolden you to reimagine the future with us. But not just reimagining the future with societal impact. Let's look out there for more men and women like myself, like our Dignitas Award recipients. Let the stories of the great ladies that we have honored here, our icons, inspire us more, inspire other people. Tonight, let's go and tell their story. I mean, what you have shared, Mom Yvonne, I wish I could go back and understood that, before I had to sing, I'm burning up, I'm in love with the DJ, that you asked, why am I not going to this school around the corner? When I enjoy your songs and I continue to do that, but Mbulu, the song, it's my favorite, there's music in the air. I'm going to hear it never be the same, because I'll hear and listen to the words, but I'll always see you addressing this hall, It makes it even more special. And how many people can say that I was there when the great University of Johannesburg bestowed this important honor on her? The Chancellor of this great university, Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, we had a meeting two days ago, and we talked a little bit about this. And she said, I'm so sorry I can't be there. Are they going to sing? And I said, no, this is not about singing. There will be the awards presented, there are guests of honor. And I could see that it took the sting out of this that she was going to miss. I should have said, oh, they are going to serenade us. But I hope next time when we invite you, you will come and we will get a song or two, Yeah? And I understand nothing is free. Hopefully we'll get family rates. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't address you with my speech, but I had to share those words. For me, this is important, the transformative power of education. When we see the students that attend with us at UJ, we must remember that they have dreams. Let's help them realize their dreams to be the best that they can be. Mark these words of Dr. Wangan Ngolunga, that the future is this country, is in the hands of this university, is in the hands of the students that we teach. They will go out there and transform the world. Thank you very much for your attention.
I've been smiling.